Hey, what's going on? Tripp Kramer here from trippadvice.com. Now, on today's video, I want to talk to you about something that I know is a big discussion out there in the world. In fact, well, this is always a discussion ever since the stock market has been around. Should you invest in the stock market? But I know a lot of this conversation is happening now because of what's going on with the world. And so I want to say this, even though I'll be talking about this today, just so you know, as you know, if you've been following the channel for a while, I'm not a financial advisor, okay? I do not have an actual background in finance, but you might be asking, well, Tripp, why are you making a video on this? Well, the thing is I've personally studied it for quite a while, and what I'll be doing today is really just sharing my thoughts and sharing what I do in terms of the stock market and investing. So you can hear about what I do, and what I do I think is pretty smart because I am well educated in the area, but no, I did not go to school for it. But either way, I want to share my thoughts with you. I want you to hear what I'm up to. And also, it should go without saying, one of the reasons why I'm talking about money lately or doing some more personal development topics is because this is going to make you an overall better man, right? If you have more money, if you're working on your productivity, if you're working on your health, you'll be more attractive and a better person. And of course, that's going to help in your dating life as well. But more importantly, help you as a great guy to have a great life. So when we talk about the stock market, and if you need more information on how stocks work or how the stock market works, that's not going to be this video. You have to do other research. So I'm just kind of guessing you already have an idea of how the stock market works. So we're not going to go into the bare basics here. But still, let's go over a few things in order to answer this question, if you should invest in the stock market and if you should invest in the stock market right now. So let's talk about the idea of being a passive investor versus an active investor in terms of investing in the stock market and the difference between the two. And I'm going to throw in another one in there. I call it, and this is my term, gambling, okay? Because when it comes to the stock market, generally speaking, we don't know what is going to happen. You can make an investment in a company and it could go up, could go down. Of course, there are some companies called blue chip companies that do well over time. They're going to do well, something like Apple or Disney, but still we don't know how they're going to play out. We ultimately don't know the answer. We can just have educated guesses. So again, we have passive investing, active investing, and what I call gambling. So active investing, I want to say this is a person who's like a day trader, like it's their job, right? I have friends and they're always texting me about it, telling me what they're up to, who are active in investing. Every day they're doing trades or they're doing holds. Every day they're working on it. It's either a part-time or a full-time job, okay? This video is not going to be for the active investor. And I'm guessing if you're an active investor, you're probably not watching this, or maybe you're watching this for entertainment's sake, okay? Then there's passive investing. I would consider myself a passive investor. And this is putting money into the stock market every month or every week, or maybe it's every couple months, depending on what your financial situation is, and you're doing it passively, and we'll talk about that in a bit, and it's not something that you're doing all the time. And then there is the gambler, right? The person who isn't necessarily an active investor, an active trader, a day trader, not someone who's more of a passive investor, but once in a while, he likes to just put some money in on one company, or maybe a couple companies, just to see if they do good and see if he can make some money on it, or he or she can make some money on it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's a little bit more of what I would say gambling. Of course, probably some educated guesses behind it. Maybe he gets a stock tip, or maybe he hears something, or he hears that a company is going to do well, but it's still, to me, a little bit more risky. Okay, I call it gambling, or you can say high risk investing. So again, not a financial advisor. This is just stuff that I've learned, that things that have worked for me in my life, what I'm sharing with you, but you have to understand the difference between all of those in summary. So passive investing, this is what I do. Passive investing is the idea of investing into the stock market for retirement's sake, or at least putting in money, doesn't have to be necessarily for retirement, into what's called index funds, funds that go up and down with the market itself, right? So over the course of the creation of the stock market, it has trended upwards and always upwards. Yes, lots of ups and downs. Yes, crashes like we're in right now, but generally speaking, it has gone up. I believe, don't quote me on this, that the average, it goes up every year on average, is 7%. So it still is a gamble, right? Everything could come crashing down, but it's much less risky to be investing passively and into what's called ETFs or index funds. Maybe you've heard about those. That's what I invest in because you know over long periods of time, it will go up. So you don't have to necessarily be buying and selling all the time. You just put money in, you just buy, and you buy over time, and eventually, you will have more money. Now, of course, there's little things in here that you have to know, in terms of, investing passively. Even though I said it's kind of low risk, there's still high risk because if you feel like you need to take your money out soon, maybe you're going towards retirement, or maybe you're going to buy a home soon, or you feel that you might need access to those funds, investing in the stocks at all is still risky because, like right now, you could be in a crash and you're like, oh, damn it, all my money is now gone. And so you don't have the time to recover from it. It will recover eventually, but you don't have the time to wait for that to take it out. So that's a whole other thing that I don't want to get into because I'm not there yet, and it's only some things that I've learned. But once you get older, you want to put more money into things like bonds that are super low risk and don't go down as hard, or maybe even take it into cash because cash only goes down very, very minimally every year due to inflation, and not necessarily, crashing because it's in your bank safe and not with other companies not knowing exactly what's going to happen. So I say this. If you're making a consistent salary, okay, so you're a person who's making, let's say 30 grand a year, maybe you're making 150 grand per year, maybe you're making 200 grand per year or more, but you have this idea that whatever career you're in or business you're in, you know that there's a ceiling, like you're going to be capped. Like some people know that there's only so much money that they can make in their career, or maybe there's only so much money they can make in side hustles. For that person who's not an entrepreneur, who's not, investing in themselves in any other ways to make money and just is getting a salary, this is a great idea, in my opinion. This is a great idea for that person to invest in the stock market even now, because they know that by the end of time, they've only made so much money. So putting money away into the stock market and doing it in the passive way is gonna yield them more money at the end of it. So money gets less and less valuable over time because of inflation, right? So you lose value in the dollar that's sitting in your bank account. So people put it in the stock market so you can recover from that and it grows, and so you can make more money over time. So you're kind of combating inflation and making more money on top of it because there's only so much money you can make in interest when you have it in the banks. Okay, so again, where we are right now is we're talking about you being interested, if so, in passive investing, so you can have money for when you're older, for retirement. It's a way of saving to have money later on, because it is proven over time that you will make money in the stock market in a long range of time. Now, who is this not for, in my opinion? Well, really it could be for anyone. It's not bad to save money. It's not bad to put money away, but there's some people, and this is kind of me too, who are investing in businesses, or maybe you're an entrepreneur. So you're a person who is doing something with their career where there's not necessarily a cap, where they know they can make more money over time. So that's more of a high risk investment. You're investing into a business or yourself, okay, not education wise, but you're investing into yourself as a business, or hiring lots of people and investing in them to make more money over time. So that person, it's interesting, it's tricky, it's kind of personal at that point, right? Some people are entrepreneurs, they're investing all into that to make money, and they're not necessarily investing into the stock market because they're looking at their business as the investment to make them more money over time. I myself, I'm hedging my bets, right? So I believe in Tripp Advice. My biggest investment is in Tripp Advice. I put all of my resources, time, and money into Tripp Advice. It's high risk, right? It could just die any day. I don't think it will, but it's still high risk because you're creating it yourself and you're building a business. You don't know what's going to happen, but I hedge my bets. I still put money as a passive investor into the stock market. I don't load tons of money into it. There are some people who are, it's called FIRE, financially independent, retire early, who do mass savings and put a lot of their money into the stock market, into passive investing, because they want to retire early and they want to save tons of money. Me, on the other hand, I do a little bit of savings because why not have some bank accounts that are going to yield me money and have money to access when I am older, when maybe I'm not working as much. But for now, a lot of my money is invested into Tripp Advice. So to answer the question, I know it's long-winded, but we really couldn't get here without me explaining a few things. Should you invest into the stock market? right now is an amazing time to invest into the stock market, okay? Right now is great. Why? Because there's a crash. So some people who aren't very familiar with stocks and how it works, and again, I'm not gonna be going too much into this. Even myself, I'm still educating myself. But what they don't know is even though it's going down and crashing, as a passive investor, it's a great time to invest because you're getting stocks at a discount, okay? So right now, if you're investing into total market, so if you're investing into the price of the market itself, it's lower now because of the crash than let's say when it was, a couple months ago before that. So right now it's kind of like you're buying when the price was at where it was 2 years ago. So let's say you've never invested before, you have no money in stocks, and you start today. It's kind of like you started a couple years ago. So now is a great time to do that, right? Now is a great time to put your money in because the prices are low. So here's my advice, okay? Here's my advice. Again, not a financial advisor. I know it's my fourth time saying that, but here's what I do. Again, to sum it all up, I have money that comes in, and I don't take necessarily too much money because the rest of the money goes back into the business to invest, to make it bigger, to reach more people like yourself and help more guys with dating. And then a part of my salary, not too much, just a little bit, goes into the stock market as a passive investor into ETFs and index funds, which go up over time. And right now, at the time of making this video, I'm 34, 35 years old. So even though there's a crash happening right now, I don't really care. I don't really look at it for anything other than entertainment purposes, just to see kind of what's going on. Not that I'm entertained by it, but you get what I'm saying. And I just kind of see what's going on. I don't sell any of my stuff. I'm just going to keep it in there and keep putting money every month. And eventually, when I do want to take it out, maybe in 20 years, maybe in 30 years, maybe never, I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep living off of the money that I have, from other means like Tripp advice, and the rest goes to my kids or whatever. But I'll have it there, and I put it there just in case, just to have there, because I know it's going to grow over time. And when I get older, I'll take most of it and put it into bonds or cash and not have it necessarily into the stock market. So that's my plan. That's what I'm doing because I'm an entrepreneur. If you're a person, or if I was a person who did not run a business, who wasn't planning on starting a business or doing anything like that, I would absolutely put as much as I could afford into the stock market, knowing that one day my career will be over. I won't be working anymore, and I need money to access that's not going to die from inflation, that I can get when I'm much older and done working. I know I just kind of repeated myself there and was very redundant, but that's how it works. That's what I do. Again, if you want more information on this, you got to go study more outside of this to learn more. But I wanted to give you my thoughts and my ideas for guys who already kind of have ideas of how the stock market works, and you can see what I'm doing. Now, one of the things I also say to invest in is yourself. And when I say yourself, I don't necessarily mean a business, but I mean education, right? And by the way, this is a pitch. This is the thing that I do. This is how Tripp Advice makes money. And I tell people, you want to invest first and foremost into yourself, okay? You want to invest in your education. So I have something for you called the Irresistible Academy, and that is my 12-month program where you can get educated and learn about how to live an irresistible lifestyle, how to optimize all the different areas of your life, your looks, your finances, the place where you live, your mindsets, your psychological mindsets, everything from beginning to end in terms of how to optimize and be the best version of yourself and be irresistible to women. It's called the Irresistible Academy. You can check that out in the link down in the description below at trippadvice.com/academy, and you can join that. And that's a way of investing in yourself in education. I'll tell you a quick story. I remember when I first started Tripp Advice back in 2011, and then it was 2012 where I invested myself in education, right? I was learning about marketing. I was learning about how to get my brand out there, how to access and reach more people so I can help them with dating. And I bought a little course that was about $97 that taught me how to create a YouTube channel. And I bought that and I studied it and I learned it, and I was able to create a YouTube channel that got a lot of subscribers and a lot of views and reached a lot of people like you. If I didn't invest in that program, I might not be here today. You might not be hearing the words that I'm saying to you right now. So whatever you do, make sure, whether it's in your own career, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's about being a better person or more irresistible, invest in yourself. There's two ways to do it, right? You can invest with time, Well, it's always going to be time, but it's either time and only time alone or time and money, right? So right now you're investing time into watching this, into learning. You can also invest your time and money into something where you can learn something that's going to take it to the next level, like my Irresistible Academy, where it's all organized and you get the best content and best information that's going to almost guarantee you that you'll get better results in your dating life and in anywhere else, right? That's why if you want to learn about stocks, for example, what you're going to do is you're probably going to invest in a course. Yes, you can watch a video like this and kind of hear some things, be entertained, get an idea, but better to invest in a course about stocks if you want to learn about how to passive invest or be a day trader and active invest, right? Education is the best thing. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Check out Irresistible Academy down below in the description. Hope this helps. Leave a comment down below if you want more videos like this where I talk about finances, money, personal development, and anything else beyond the dating scope. But of course, it all connects and all works together. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.